All right, hey everyone. Welcome back to, I believe this is episode 6 of BS Rambles. And I'm going to try again, as usual, something different this week. I think I liked what I did last week with the fast forwarding through the boring stuff. I think I only die once during this game. If I do die more than once, I definitely forgot to edit that out. But yeah, deal with it. Hopefully you don't mind where I placed that BS Rambles logo in the bottom left. I had it in the top left before, but I noticed all the streamers are putting their stuff in the bottom left because you can probably tell that I'm playing Illidan. It doesn't cover the talents or anything. The other thing I want to try doing this week, because I've decided that in the video tags I would include my builds that I'm doing for the game, because I'm trying to pick good gameplay, so hopefully people can actually enjoy the Heroes of the Storm aspect of this as well, is I want to go through what build I do for the game with everyone. So my level 1 talent, you probably already saw me take it. I started with Battered Assault. And that's because I'm doing a Teamfight build. This is going to be like a bruiser build Illidan, just meant to get right in there, getting dirty with the other team, and just trade with them as hard as you can. So Battered Assault is good because it honestly is probably the best talent in the game as far as Illidan goes. It increases the damage duration from 3 to 5 seconds of sweeping strikes, and if you hit more than 2 people, or if you hit more than one person, it increases the damage bonus to 125%. So you just start chopping through people. It's absolutely insane if you hit 2 people. My level 4 talent that I take is Unbound, and it's not a surprise that it's another sweeping strike talent. It makes it able to go over terrain, which is kind of a nice bonus in my opinion. Really, it's about the quest, where after hitting 30 heroes with sweeping strikes, you gain a second charge of it, which is amazing. That's really what it's about. And you get that quickly, especially when you're trying to pump through multiple heroes every time. So by taking Battered Assault, you're already kind of working on your Unbound quest just through your natural playstyle. At level 7, you have all the defensive talents. So usually you would take Thirsting Blade with this build because it increases the healing you get from sweeping strikes, but I took Reflexive Block because I think I was mostly worried about the Butcher in this game killing me. Level 10, obviously Metamorphosis. That just gives you a big health boost, makes you more of a bruiser. The Hunt's not even an option for this build. Level 13, you have more defensive talent options. I think in this one I take Nimble Defender, which is again just an armor boost. I think I was mostly worried about the Butcher coming after me at that point. The other option that's good for this one is Elusive Strike, because Sweeping Strikes lowers the cooldown of Invasion by 3 seconds, and obviously you'll have 2 charges of Sweeping Strike, unlike usual, which is pretty great. I hope I don't die here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to die. Yeah, just ignore that. And Sixth Sense is good if you're getting beaten by a mage. Like if a Kael'thas decides to Pyroblast you or something, it's amazing to have. At level 16, I took Blades of Azzinoth, which is right up there with Battered Assault, with one of my favorite talents in the game. As soon as you hit 5 heroes with sweeping strikes, you can activate it to increase your basic attack damage by 75%. It does stack with Battered Assault, and you'll see it happen later in the game, where I'll get Battered Assault to trigger and then activate Blades of Azzinoth, and then it doesn't matter who you're on, they disappear in moments. It feels overpowered to me, and I love it. And then finally at level 20, you go Demonic Form, the upgrade Demonic Form. I just think it's the best option there, and chances are Bolt of the Storm is going to get taken out of the game in the next few patches if you've been keeping up with what Blizzard's trying to do. And that pretty much covers what I wanted to talk about in terms of the gameplay that you're watching right now. So if you came for that, you can either get out of here now or you can mute it, because now I want to talk about the new Pokemon games that got announced. And actually, I wrote this stuff down when they announced, they did a big Pokken announcement where they're bringing it out for Switch, which to me, I don't care. If I'm going to be playing a fighting game, you guys probably know my other channel. If you're one of my 2 subscribers on this one, you probably came from 2Stock, which is where we play Smash Bros. And I've always said, before they make any other Smash characters, they should just add all 150 Pokemon. Why is nothing else in the game? I didn't always say that. I heard my brother say that once, and I agreed, okay? I agreed, but big time. More than I usually agree. So yeah, anyways, when they announced Pokken, when I first saw it, I was like, hey, that's pretty sweet, and then I realized it's Tekken, and I only care about one fighting game, and that's Super Smash Bros. The other ones, to me, I'm sure people from other fighting games feel the same way about Super Smash Bros. That it just kind of feels like a rock, paper, scissors too much. But I'll probably never play Pokken, honestly. So I didn't really care about that. And then they're doing Sun and Moon Ultra, which kind of pissed me off because I was expecting them to announce something new. Sun and Moon Ultra is super disappointing to me, especially because Sun and Moon were super disappointing to me. I played through that game. I got it on the release date. I did the midnight release and stuff. I even took the day off work the next day. That's how much I wanted to nerd out to this. And I was incredibly disappointed with that game. And it didn't hit me right away that I was disappointed. It's hit me over the last few months, actually, after I've stopped playing the game. Because in that game, I got through. I had my team. I got up to the Elite Four. I did all that stuff. And then you kind of get to a point where I didn't know what else to do. For me, the fun's kind of choosing your team and training them up. I don't really like the end game stuff. So I thought, well, maybe it's time for me to restart the game. And then before I restarted the game, I thought back and I remembered, oh my god, if I restart this game, I'm going to be doing like 2.5 hours of cutscenes. And that is so incredibly boring. And they laid that on so thick in those first couple of games where it's just cutscene after cutscene after cutscene. And I think what they were trying to do is really flex the 3DS graphics and try to impress you with how cinematic they can make Pokemon. But I don't care about how cinematic it is on my 3DS because 3DS looks like shit anyways. I'm there for good gameplay, right? If I want graphics, I'll go back to my computer. So I found that really confusing and really frustrating. It was just such a slow beginning, and it means that I can't restart that game because I'm just not willing to do that again. And there's been multiple times when I want to restart that game, but that 2 hours at the beginning where it's just nothing but cutscenes, I cannot bring myself to do it, so I'm not going to do that. And then the one thing I would usually be excited for is that they announced Pokemon Gold and Silver remakes, but what they are doing is they're just porting those onto the eStore. And it's just going to be, so you can see the battered assaults going off right here. Like, you just chop people down, you know? It's absolutely insane. Anyways, yeah, the Gold and Silver remakes are just the exact ports of the original game. And I have that on my cell phone. So I did that a couple of years ago, actually. I replayed through Pokemon Gold and Silver. Because if you've ever tried that before on the actual old games, it is impossible to find a copy of Gold and Silver that the battery file works for. Oh man, yeah, I definitely didn't know that I died there, so I apologize because you're going to have to watch the 13 seconds of me being dead. A lot of the time when I die in this game, I go and I make myself food or something, so yeah, it looks like I'm actually paying attention here, which is awesome. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, I downloaded... So I went through a phase where all my friends, we were going to replay all the Pokemon games. We all went and got our Gold and Silvers. It is impossible to find those with working... They have internal batteries in those cartridge games, and those are responsible for holding your save games. And all of those are dead at this point. So it's almost impossible to find a Pokemon Silver that has, or Gold for that matter, that has a working battery. And I probably I've spent 2 separate $40 purchases on Pokemon Silver trying to find one with a working battery, and it never panned out. So I just got it on my phone. You can play through the whole thing on your phone. There's tons of emulators you can get. So to me, that was like, okay, so now I can... It's like HBO asking me to subscribe to their thing, right? It's like, am I going to buy HBO online, or am I just going to torrent it off Pirate Bay and get the exact same thing without any of the hassle? And by the way, I've already done it before. So I don't care about that at all. What I did always say when Switch came out, I was like, well, they've made this handheld now. So their console has now become their handheld device. So I figured that the 3DS will be the end of all handhelds. I don't think that there'll be another handheld device that succeeds the 3DS. I think that the Nintendo Switch is where they're going to go from now on. The whole handheld thing, you can fit so much power in such a small device right now that the handheld thing is outdated. They're going to keep on doing what they're doing with Switch, which is genius. But what I said right away is that by making the Switch handheld, they've opened up all these, or basically they're closing off the opportunity for franchises that existed only on handhelds to continue to exist on handhelds. So they're either going to die, or they're going to find a way to exist on this handheld slash console platform. So right away, I was like, oh my god, please Pokemon make that transition, right? So when I initially heard that they're making Sun and Moon Ultra, I was so disappointed. I was like, really? This is your answer to trying to survive in the handheld console world of Nintendo, is to remake your worst ever franchise and then also remake but not remaster one good one that was actually the second title you ever released? Was that like year 2000 that they must have released that? Like ages and ages ago. But as of today, they just announced at E3 that they will be making a full-on brand new Switch-enabled RPG Pokemon. So that'll be seriously awesome. I wonder what they're going to do with that. I'm hoping that they come up with something this, like... Honestly, I didn't really like the whole islands thing. I hope they go back to gym leaders and stuff, but I hope that they can find a way to make it more kind of MMO style. I'm not sure where they're going to go with it, but I have hopes. And, God, I hope they don't involve Pokken at all in that, because I could not care less about Pokken at all. And that's all I wanted to talk about for Pokemon. I also wanted to talk... Okay, I went to... I live in Calgary, and we have this festival called the Lilac Fest, and Calgary is one of the least cultural cities in the entire world. It's we're an oil city through and through. It's just big corporate buildings, right? So we've got Edmonton to the north, and that's where a lot of the blue-collar people who work in the oil fields will live. And then to the south of that is Calgary, and Calgary is like the executive capital of oil. All their companies are here, and as a result, the art scene is pretty abysmal. But every year we have this thing called Lilac Fest, where they shut down one of the main streets downtown for about 3 blocks, and all these little stands and food trucks go up, and it is packed. And I have never gone to that before until this year, because I have a girlfriend now that wanted to go. So my friend Andrew, his girlfriend, myself, my girlfriend, we went to Lilac Fest, and I thought it'd be okay because I was just going to gorge myself on food trucks. I didn't eat for like 20 hours beforehand. I skipped lunch, I skipped dinner, got up, went to Lilac Fest, and oh my god, did I ever regret that. There was just nothing for me there. The stands, so the whole thing is like small kiosks, right? And all these kiosks were the same thing, and it was homemade jewelry, which I have nothing against people making homemade jewelry. I think it's awesome that you're using your artistic talents to try to make some money doing what you love, but am I going to buy your stones or your copper carved jewelry? No, that's just not for me. A lot of the girls that were there were loving that stuff. And then the other type of stands that were there was vintage clothing. Tons and tons of vintage clothing stands. Either they were handmade or they were refurbished. And I just could not give a shit about that stuff. It was so boring and it was so crowded. And the food trucks were few and far between, to the point that I actually had to go into a bar. So we go into this German bar called Wurst. Usually one of the best places to go. But for Lilac Fest, they have, what are they called? It's not a mariachi band. It's like the German version of that, where they have all the brass instruments. I'm just ready to get out of the hot sun, get out of this massive crowd, get off my feet. So we go in there, we sit down. I think we had met up with some friends that were there, so I think there's 8 of us by this time. And right away, this whole band of these old German guys just come over, and they just start harassing us. And by harassing us, I mean trying to entertain us with their music, but it was so annoying. They're just like, they're trying to make us sing along in German and teach us words and stuff. I'm like, fuck, just let me eat my lunch and drink this beer in peace. I came in here to get out of the crowds and mayhem, and now I've got this fucking band just like assaulting me. So here you'll probably see me activate Blades of Azzinoth. Yeah, there's Blades of Azzinoth stacked with Battered Assault, and you absolutely go off when that happens. I was pretty happy with this. I'm pretty sure that I'm playing with my friend, who I'm just teaching how to play the game. So it was nice to kind of be able to go off on these guys for him. I think he was impressed. He was impressed. I'm trying to get all my friends into Heroes of the Storm. I mean, in an ideal world, every single one of my friends is playing Heroes of the Storm with me. And if anyone listening to this podcast wants to play, please add me. You can see my name up on the screen. I would love to have more people to play with. I like doing Team League better than Solo Hero League. It kind of keeps me in check, just like recording this stuff does. I can't flame people anymore because I know that I'm going to look like an asshole on stream if I do. Because as soon as I lose my shit at someone, I'm like, ah, crap, I can't use this gameplay anymore because I'm going to look like a dick. Hey, I just told this kid to kill himself, and now an otherwise great game just went to waste because it's going to be on stream. What I really wanted to talk about with the Lilac Fest is that there's all these little hipster stands there. So I really like coffee, so I thought I'd get into coffee. So I started grinding my own beans, right? That's what you do. You grind your own beans. They're more fresh that way. You get more flavor out of them, I guess. I don't really know. I'm just going off what I heard from other people. But little did I know that there's another step, and it seems that the trend is the more of a connoisseur you are, the more steps you have to do for yourself, and the cooler it is. So I was talking to these people who had their own little brewing company, a couple guys about my age, and they've actually taken it one step further than grinding your own beans. They sell you raw coffee beans, and now you have to roast your own coffee beans, which is boring as shit. I was talking to my girlfriend about it, what the hell's the next step? And now I have to roast my own coffee beans and then grind them and then make the coffee. Like, the next thing they're just gonna give you fucking seeds and say, like, here's the seeds in the dirt. And after that, they'll say, like, here's the... I don't fucking know. I don't know how much further they're gonna go. They'll just give you, like, an instruction manual to start your own fucking bean farm in Nicaragua. Be like, dude, that's how you really get all the flavor. You have to farm it from the ground from the start. And if you're not there nurturing those beans, you're gonna lose out on a lot of the essential oils that really make this coffee an excellent brew. Like, fuck off. I'm just gonna keep on buying regular beans and doing it that way. That's that battered assault you're seeing go off there that chopped Jane to pieces. The other thing I saw the other day, I'm running out of time, I might have to do this. Okay, I'll tell you really quick. I'm driving down the street, and next to this giant pasture that has the Children's Hospital sign on it, I look out, and there's 100 goats in that field over there. Literally 100. I don't know if it's hundreds, but at least 100 goats, and they're just hanging out there. There's one dude at the top hanging out. I was like, what the hell? So I get to work, I tell everyone about these goats. And apparently it's this one guy that runs a business in Alberta and BC, and he has a weeding company. Anyways, I would have liked to talk more about the 100 goats, and I have more for you, but I guess that means I'll be saving it for the next episode, because this was kind of a fast gameplay, because I fucking wrecked the other team! And unfortunately, the only one that didn't make the MVP screen was my man Aaron, who I was playing with. I guess Tassadar silencing people for 45 seconds total is more important than him, whatever he did, but he was the ETC that you saw at the start. That's probably why he got hit by those AoEs that came from the boss. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think about me going over the build at the start. Maybe I'll try to do them quicker in the future, but I just want it to benefit people in a way that they were expecting when they came to the video based on the thumbnail that they saw, you know? I don't want to false advertise. So if you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and you can follow me on Instagram. I'll throw that up on the screen right now. It's just BS Rambles on Instagram. And don't forget to follow the other channel, 2Stocked. I'll be posting videos for there every Sunday, and these are going to be coming out as much as I can make them. Once again, guys, thanks so much for listening. Have a great week.